Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Escape from Carcosa, the online edition. We are back in Pathfinder. I am your GM, Lucas. My pronouns are he, him, and let's go around the table and introduce everyone. Marquis.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marquis. I'm known as Body Time Online, he, him, and I am playing the Magus, Akihiko, who in his real world, still fake world, goes by Derrick Hyland. 18 years old, he, him, and yeah, he's just been stabbed multiple times and is happy to be here.
Aubrey.
Hello, I am Aubrey. You usually find me everywhere on the internet at Mad Queen Cosplay. I am playing Ryan Kelly, or in-game known as Nysla Stoneheart. Sort of the, fresh college graduate, deciding to get into this brand new game, and mistakes have been made.
And Cassie.
Hi everybody, I'm Cassie, she, her. Online you can find me as Awesome Hylian. I am playing Vanessa in the real fake world, who is playing a Talarian birdfolk named Morrigan, Mori for short, in our perilous, lethal online world. Hopefully we'll be a little safe this time. I don't know.
Previously on Escaping Carcosa Online, our heroes had just found out that they are trapped in this game, and a being known as Haster descended from the sky, proclaiming that if they die in this game, they would die in the real world. After running away as a crowd was starting to stampede, skeletons started ripping from the ground and started just attacking everyone. Our group of heroes were quickly ambushed, and all these skeletons just started hacking down players. After a harrowing battle, our heroes had looked at one another as they were just trying to get their senses back, and one of them hit their little UI that popped up. Before it said 12,000 players, and now it says 10,928. Meaning that at least over 1,000 players had died here and in the real world. Now, we are back in Carcosa. The sun is blazing high in the sky. The town is covered in blood. Before, it was set up to be a beautiful festival where everybody could come and celebrate the new travelers that were entering into Carcosa, and unfortunately, it has turned for the worst. All of you are sort of sitting there getting your bearings back as you're looking at one another. There's blood on each of you. You see there are other dead players that are slowly starting to glow a little bit, and then they just explode into a number of pixels that lift up into the air. The skeletons around you all start lighting up, and then they explode. You see little pop-ups happen on each of your displays, and each of you roll me the percentile. It's the D10 percentile as well as the D10.
52.
25.
I rolled a 60 on my normal dice.
All right, the majority passed, so you see pops up that each of you had gained 30 gold from this encounter, and you all each gain a minor potion of healing. So you're all kind of just looking at each other. You see now these things are in your inventory. These skeletons are gone. As you're just slowly coming back to your senses, you hear in the background there are some people crying. There are some people that are kind of shaking, hiding in an alley. There are just a few skeletons here and there that are still around that people are fighting in the distance. It's pretty far off from where you are. And you see there are just even some players that are kind of walking, just wide-eyed, not sure what just happened.
Yeah, I imagine there's a bit of that, and just I remember I dropped my gun last time, so I make sure to pick that up, holster it, and all that stuff. And while I'm looking around, it's just sort of feeling like, did everyone else experience that? I say as I am clutching probably wounds on my body.
Akihiko is currently dragging his staff and is walking northward. is just resolutely just not speaking to people.
Morrigan is she's back up to full health now thanks to the battle medicine. So actually able to like stand and look around and see things, and in response just kind of say out loud, not really looking at anyone in particular, "That was insane. We just got here. Why are we already being attacked like this? We almost died."
I don't have a good answer for that.
Akihiko just like stops and just says, "The game clearly isn't under Nostradamus' control anymore, so we should probably not stand here like lemmings."
Good idea.
Yes, that is a very good idea.
Do you need help?
I'm going to get help. Just starts walking again northward.
You're just gonna shuffle after.
Yeah, I'll follow for the time being.
His tail is just also kind of like dragging on the ground. It's just very like, ears are also a little floppy. Just like, this is not happy Akihiko Day.
It's a sad cat boy.
You're starting to walk through town. You're finding more people. There are some who kind of have their senses regained and are regrouping. You see small groups are forming here and there. There are some players that are staying more solo, but you see that there are some that are all starting to migrate. Some are going towards the guild hall. Others are also going northward like yourselves. You are looking around the town of Carcosa. There is once more the mismatch of buildings here and there, looking like they've just been plucked from different towns, different styles of architecture. The road itself changing from gravel to cobblestone to like a well-worn dirt path here and there. As you start getting to the central part of the town, it has become suddenly heavily wooded. There are still the paths that are going through, but it looks like it's a bit of a dense park. As you're starting to come up near the path that's leading towards the guild house. Looking that direction, you see the guild house in the distance. It's like a circular building with a domed roof and a bridge leading over towards it over a large pond.
Akihiko sees that the guild hall and just kind of keeps moving past it. Just remembering the things that were kind of put into the bit of information that was already put out and pulling it up on his menu, just like Church of the Shining God, healing and resurrection.
You're heading towards the Church of the Shining God. Even though, like, maybe not necessarily injured, you're still feeling sore, which is a little surprising to you, from using these muscles and just kind of feeling that little bit of that wear and tear of having to punch skeletons or, swing a sword or anything like that is more than what your body was normally used to. You are moving forward, and you see there are some NPCs now that are starting to come out, and you can tell they're NPCs because above their heads, normally it'll tell you about a player, what class they are, their pronouns, stuff like that. With the NPC, it'll just be like the NPC's name, and there's usually like a little symbol, a 3-tendrilled symbol that's showing that they're a Carcosian. You're walking along, some of them are going like, "Oh, hello, travelers. Nice weather we're having today, isn't it?" One's waving at you, this older man.
It's raining skeletons.
I don't know about that, but make sure you take care of yourselves.
We're trying.
Akihiko just throws the dirtiest look at this NPC.
You got a bit of red on you.
And he stops. "Would you like some red on you, sir?"
Oh no, I'm afraid I'd be in trouble coming home like that.
That's a good face.
I would laugh, but it hurts right now.
Akihiko's like, it's okay. We can salvage this. We could do other things. I do not need to kill an NPC today.
Take care, travelers.
Just the dragging sound of a staff. Just keeps walking forward. Must get to the church.
You're all on your way to the church, and you see finally the outside of this building. The church rises up high into the sky with a bell tower adorning its top. The triangle roof reaches towards the warm and shining sun, and on the front of the church there's a big circular stained glass window. On that window is a yellow sunburst with a set of smiling teeth. The doors are a set of large wooden double doors that look well worn with brass handles to pull open. I need everyone to make me a lore check, and everyone can add a trained proficiency.
Oh, I got a natural 20 for a total of 26.
21.
I got a 17.
All of you are looking up at this symbol, the sunburst with a set of smiling teeth, the symbol of the shining god, and you swear that is the symbol that the well-known streamer Smiley uses for a lot of their merch.
Cool streamer, bad streamer.
So they're very wholesome. They're kind of like it's like, they be cheesy on main and everyone kind of digs it. There are some people who are like, you got to be a real person. Obviously, this is just a fake happiness kind of thing like that. But, genuinely, they are just super nice, very positive, and a lot of people go there to watch them play video games, just talk about, news, that kind of stuff. And they always have sort of a warm, uplifting spirit. You recognize them or you don't see them here, but like you always knew it was them. She always wore like these large, oversized sweaters. She had like a long blonde hair, and there's just always this cheerful smile on her face.
It's good, because Smiley sounds like a horror movie type of name.
There is this like,
Right.
Is this a horror? Is this a slasher villain?
Right.
Is this about to be a clown horror movie?
No, that's the next adventure.
Walk up to the big door, and is it a push or a pull?
It's a pull.
I'm just gonna like grab whatever handle to be pulled and just start.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll help.
So you pull open this door, and you see there are a few other people in here. Inside the church, you see there are rows of pews leading up to an altar that is adorned in a red cloth with a yellow trim. On this altar is a large golden symbol, that same sunburst set of smiling teeth. The inside shows a number of stained glass images of red-robed figures raising their hands to a being composed of bright and shining light. Attending to the altar is a large dragonborn, red scales and royal blue hair. He's wearing a suit of full-plate armor and has a set of red robes over top of them. Their eyes light up as you all walk in.
Oh, hello, how are you?
Been better.
Yes.
NPC or PC?
It is an NPC. You see the name pops up above their head, Saint Bernard Busybody.
Yeah, it's not exactly been the best day. We've, this place you get healing, right?
Of course, we love to heal people here in the name of the Shining God. It looks like you've had a bit of a tumble there. Is there a way I can help? I noticed you there, cat boy. You look fairly wounded.
Yeah, I got stabbed. Can you unstab me?
Oh, of course we can unstab you. Why don't you come on over here and I will bless you with the light of the Shining God.
You see this little pop-up appear in front of you, and it says, full healing, 10 gold.
As he says, unstab me, like, his entire body shudders. Just like I'm clearly in danger and in need of an adult, but goes over to Bishop Busybody and, like, presses the affirmative to pay the 10 gold.
So this little chime happens, and you see the 10 gold disappears from your inventory. So you see St. Bernard Busybody leans forward, their hands come stretched, they place them lightly on your shoulders. You feel this warm energy coat right through you. All of you watch as this yellow glow goes over Akihiko, and you are healed back to full hit points, and you feel great, honestly.
As he just kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice. He does look at the Saint Busybody. Can you actually bring people back?
Of course, yes. If I get a little bit of an assistance, we can definitely bring the dead back to life. Who would you like to bring back?
Well, there's a lot of people who died out there.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Death is an everyday occurrence. I wish it weren't. It's not for me, though.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
I'm always brought back. The Shining God always smiles upon me, and even when I have my face blown in, or if I have my head ripped off, or I'm just incinerated, I always find that I wake up again.
Are you being raided? A lot?
Raided?
Are people breaking into your church, sir?
Like bandits? No, there's no bandits here. Thankfully, the guards are rather wonderful, but you know how it is. Some days things work out, other days people just stab you.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, today's been a stabbing day.
Who will stab you?
Skeletons in the city.
Yeah.
In the city?
The guards didn't do anything.
Oh, that sounds... You should definitely write a formal complaint.
You're absolutely right. I cannot wait to tell the mayor? King?
Oh, there's a mayor here, most assuredly, yes.
I would love to tell the mayor about the suboptimal performance of his guards.
If you head on over to the guild hall, I'm sure they could set something up there where you can talk to someone there, and they'll get you talking to the mayor lickety split, because this seems like a bad problem if we have. If anybody comes in here just stabbing everyone and the guards are just dilly-dallying, how are we supposed to be dealing with this?
You're so correct, Saint Busybody. Your infinite wisdom from the Shining God has brought great light upon my terrible, terrible existence.
Oh, I'm so glad. You seem like such a cheery soul.
You have no idea.
I can see it radiating inside of you. You're trying to hide it in a veil of ice, but I see it sparkling through, and it's beautiful.
And he
It's
covers
beautiful.
himself up like, don't look, stop looking at me.
I see it.
I do have a question about this shining one.
Oh, Shining God, yes.
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Oh, yes, of course. The Shining God descended upon us in our time of need when the other gods were seeking to control the threads of humanity, but we said no more. Everyone should have the right to their own fate. And so we banded together under the beautiful shining light of the Shining God. And we help them, as the Shining God's main purpose is to consume all the other gods and free us from their divine tyranny.
I'm sorry. Hold.
That's
Did the Shining God eat them?
Oh, yes, the Shining God has eaten a number of
It
other
is.
gods. It is very true.
Like what?
But, the Shining God is here as a good faith for everyone else. We offer things like money to ensure free education, and we make sure there's free health care for all. Although there seems to be a strange thing going on here. What? Charged you gold? That's strange. I'll have to think about that later.
This sounds a little like a cult.
Oh no, we very much frown on that word.
I'm sure you do.
Actually, Akihiko stares at Saint Busybody, and because he refuses to have social cues towards NPCs because he doesn't think they're real, pokes Saint Busybody?
Oh, you're a friendly one.
Like, how real?
You feel it, yeah. You poke like you're poking armor essentially because they're wearing full plate. You just like kind of poke it. I mean, you could poke their face if you want.
He's gonna grab them by the face and just like start like moving their mouth.
Oh? Hello, what are we doing here?
Where were you born?
I was born on Kryn. Everybody believes that I'm a dragonborn, but I'm a draconian.
When you were 8, what did you do?
Oh, I quite enjoy traveling the mountains of Kryn, especially near Mount Nevermind. The gnomes had the most wonderful inventions, but unfortunately every time I got too close, things were blowing up, and our parents always said, do be careful around explosions, Bernard. You have a tendency to get blown up.
What are you afraid of? What's your favorite food?
I am afraid of the sorrows in everyone's heart because I see it dragging everyone down, and it is a fear of mine that the world will never be able to truly shine. My favorite food is bagels. I had them. I went to a Judge Foundation in Chicago.
What?
They scared me away, though. They said, you can't be here.
Akihiko, like, let go of Saint Busybody and, like, looks over and just, like, points, like, you're investigator. Investigator? Investigator.
Yes.
looks at Saint Busybody and then like grabs you by the wrist and like pulls you out of the church. Just
Bye now.
One real quick thing before it happens. We got the name of the creature in the sky, correct?
Haster, the king in yellow.
And while I'm getting pulled out, I'm just like, does the name Haster mean anything to you?
No, they're a shit. Don't worry about them.
So now Morrigan's just been left in there.
So what's it like to fly?
I don't know. I've never flown before.
That breaks my heart.
I'm gonna marry this man.
This whole interaction, I think, has really freaked Morrigan out. Just between, like, the healing, this rant on the Shining God eating other gods, so many questions. And then Akihiko's behavior is just, like, really confusing.
Akihiko's behavior is the most normal thing right now.
So she's just gonna like side-eye the bishop here before he gets a chance to ask any more questions, and just sort of, I don't want to say scuttle, but I imagine the floors are very smooth, and there's not a lot of grip, so she's just going to struggle her way, lock-kneed, out of the church back to the street.
Come again, please.
Hopefully not.
So the three of you are outside of the church.
Pulls you aside and says, I don't think he's fake.
I mean, yeah, he did certainly have a lot of answers for questions an NPC you wouldn't think to program.
That's why I was asking just such strange, esoteric questions. I don't think he's fake, which means that, and the other NPCs may not be fake, and I'm not an investigator. My job is not to find and piece together clues, but you can.
Yeah, and at this point, I would like to pursue a lead.
Okay.
And I'd like to sort of say that I guess the thing I'm pursuing right now is, how real is this world? That is what I want. Essentially, this sort of clue of this very interactive NPC, an almost slightly aware NPC.
Okay. And how does pursuing a lead work?
It says I spend about a minute investigating the details of one potential clue, designating the subject related to the clue as the target of my active investigation.
Okay.
And essentially is I don't need to know like the full identity or scope of it or anything. I just have to dedicate like just this as like, it can even just be the church itself as like, this is my investigation. Like, especially like, how is this church run by a streamer when this game, or dedicated to a streamer when this game just came out? That's another thing I'm very curious about. And essentially is when I roll perception checks to like learn things or notice things, I get a +1 circumstance bonus for those checks.
I'll have you roll a perception right now, as you're just kind of right outside the church, looking around.
18.
So you are just taking a look at the NPCs that are walking by. You see other players that are kind of like sitting down. See some players that are leaving the church and whatnot, but your main focus is on the NPCs, the building, the birds that are flying by, just everything around you. And time slows down for just a little bit as you're picking up every little detail. You seem to be moving almost a little bit faster. You, Ryan, could never do this. This is a very strange ability, as you are just picking up so many little social cues. You notice that these NPCs are walking by one another, and they'll stop and they'll start having conversations. And some of the conversations seem to be the exact same, as you're kind of picking up from one group of NPCs over here, another group of NPCs over there. They're having the same conversation, almost word for word, which gives you reasoning of like, okay, we are in a video game. But then you start seeing certain things, like the way that animals are reacting to one another as they're like sort of fighting over food. Or you see like an NPC goes to like, they pick a flower and they stop and they're kind of like looking at it strange. They're looking over this flower and like looking around a little bit. And then they kind of shrug and drop it on the ground and just start walking away. So you are picking up strange behaviors of the NPCs. There are definitely moments where it looks like they're almost reacting out of script.
And I will sort of relay that after, like, I have this moment where you're being like, it seems like at points they are operating on a script, but at other times they're deviating. It doesn't, like, feel like 100% real. Like, because there are certain things, like, conversations happening almost word for word in multiple places. But there are, you know, people picking up flowers and looking at it and putting them down. You know, things that I don't know how one would even think how to program.
Akihiko's ears are just like twitching as he's intaking this information. Alright, well, don't kill the NPCs. They may be real people. Alright, well, that's about as far as I'll take that. And, thanks. And he turns to the south. It just starts walking away.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to the guild hall.
Okay, I'm gonna go as well, because I think honestly sticking together at a time like this is probably a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. And we don't really know if more of those skeletons are going to show up.
Sure. Okay. Just don't die.
Speaking of being together, did you all see what happened to that person that was, like, glowing? Like a candle?
You didn't see him? He was getting carried off by a bunch of screaming people that were in, like, tattered clothes?
Oh!
I just thought that, like, that was a thing that he wanted to do.
Yeah, I hope he's alright.
Yeah. Hopefully to the guild hall, I guess.
Yeah, to the guild hall.
So you're walking past, you see there are, like, some players are starting to gather now, as they're kind of trying to figure out, like, what the hell is going on? You do recognize that there is one player that is kind of standing up on a wooden crate, and she's yelling to a group of other people. She is this elf of Terra, so this a bit of, like, almost camouflage-like skin, like pattern, very large ears pointed out, hair tied back, and she has this armor on, like a little sword at her side, as she's addressing a number of other players. You're walking along, but you know what? From here on out, we're just going to kind of you'll have a lore real world skill that you're all going to be trained in.
Hey.
Because that just makes sense. We have something like that. So everyone roll that as you see the name of this player above their head.
Oof. 13.
24.
A 9.
Nysla, you pick this up as you see the name above their head. It's Sapphire Moon. This is another name of another popular streamer. She's big in diving a little more into, like, politics and stuff. Did some, like, gaming stuff on the side, but it was a lot more diving into that kind of thing. You're looking over, you're like, how many goddamn streamers are in this game? You see, like, there are all sorts of characters that are surrounding her at the moment, listening. You can kind of hear that she's more or less doing, like, a rallying speech. Like, we have to figure out this game. Everyone, we need to band together. We need to start looking into this dungeon, and we can't be doing this alone. We have to be teaming up. We can't just start doing this solo. This game is far more dangerous than we could have even imagined. And you see that there are other characters around her. You see, like, a dwarf named Cakeblade. There is this orcish person named the Lily of Death. There's all sorts of names. You see there's another person who's named Dr. Juicy Baby, just standing there. It's all sorts of just ridiculous character names above their heads of, like, very serious-looking adventurers.
As Akihiko's, like, walking past this crap, he's not stopping. And you kind of just hear him, like, just look. You see him, like, turn his head to hear her as he's walking, but then turns back as he just, like, casually tosses out, yeah, okay, silly.
I definitely don't think we should try to solo this game, but, you know.
I mean, you can only figure out that you could solo if you try soloing it. You gotta just get going. Trying to hoard that many people is just gonna slow you down. Especially because I'm sure half of them have already pissed their pants already.
Yeah, I mean, small, concentrated group.
Is that what this is? A small, concentrated group?
I mean, we worked pretty well together.
We did things next to each other.
I healed. I kept you up.
You did, and I am very, very happy for your assistance, Doctor.
Oh man, my parents would probably be proud of me if I was a doctor in real life.
What are you in real life?
A recently graduated college student.
Your degree's in?
Film.
A look comes over his face. It's just, what my mother would call a worthless degree.
My parents said that too.
Well, I don't know if watching movies is going to help you fight here. You have any gaming experience?
Oh yeah, no, I've been like playing video games for like most of my life.
What did you play?
A lot of RPGs. Played a lot of RPGs. And I definitely played a lot of the bigger MMOs for a while, things like that.
And turns to our trailing bird friend. And you?
So Morrigan has been watching this exchange and the reaction to this group of enthusiastically named adventurers. And I think just like her upbringing and the way that people normally behave around her, she's going to kind of take offense at Akihiko's tone. And not that like she's not really attached to anybody at this moment, but like we are soloing next to each other the game, and there's a lot of questions circling around. So I think she's like caught up, she's there, and it's just going to kind of be confused but attitude-y, I think, a little bit, and go, you're asking a lot of really pointed questions about everyone else's abilities and their backgrounds. Is there something about you that we should know that makes you highly qualified here? Because from where I'm standing, you needed the most help out of that engagement. And I'm not saying that we don't work well together regardless, but you seem overconfident from what I have seen. So what amazing skills do you have that we don't know about?
Not really skills so much as you get close enough to dying enough times and you just stop being afraid of it. And also, I've had to deal with a lot of people of various degrees of competence and incompetence, so it's just, I would rather figure out whether or not, if we're going to work well together, whether or not you can actually work well. My experience in video games is mostly in fighting games, so I have a small amount of idea of reaction times and whatnot, but also, to be fair, it was the guy who was nearest all of them, so you get hit sometimes. I'll try and avoid that in the future.
Given your experience, for my own sake here, what is your summation of the group of travelers that we just passed, that you dismissed them? I'm not defending them, their names are dumb, but why would you just immediately disregard them like you did?
There's too many of them.
That's it?
In a game where we have to work our way downward across many different problems, sure, having more people means more opportunities to succeed, but it also means having to rally too many different people with differing opinions. People who don't care about whether or not they get through the game, but prefer to do it their way. So keeping a group small, that you don't have to answer to too many individuals who decide something extremely stupid and may even try coming up with something even worse like democracy, will help keep things running smoothly.
At this point, Morrigan's expression is going to clear, and she's going to nod at Akihiko and say, I'm glad that you feel that way. I am also not a fan of democracy in large groups in life or death situations, so hopefully this little group that we have works out for all of us. I think we should go to the guild hall, see what resources we can find, and if those over large groups fall behind, it's not our problem.
That's the way I see it.
Works for me.
Just starts walking.
Greetings there, travellers. It's me, Wing Ever Gimble, famous name bad. and I am happy that you're here at the Traveling in the Seven Dice, where we travel through space and time conveniently to tell you all our stories. I hope you've been enjoying escaping Carcosa. It has been quite a fun tale to follow along. All sorts of strange and interesting characters, and all the NPCs we can absolutely trust because it's a brand new story, and all the NPCs here are okay so far. I like bringing in these fun facts. I'm honestly not sure how long I will keep bringing in fun facts, but I'll try to keep it up. For now, though, here's a new fun fact about Carcosa Online. The original NPCs for the civic roles like the merchant and the historian were not originally included in the release of Carcosa Online. The developers are still not sure who released the code with these very strange characters. Isn't that fun? Mystery NPCs. Where are you from? Where are we gonna go? What are you doing? We don't know. Isn't that wonderful? Carcosa Online is full of such mysteries. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. Travelers, I know you're probably like, I've already heard of this one 100 times. Well, if you want to go on and help us appease the gods of the algorithm, we've learned recently that they've swallowed up all the denizens of Saturn, and it's very sad. But we learned that Saturn wasn't able to get enough 5-star reviews. So, help us keep Earth safe and appease the algorithm gods in their void realm. All you have to do is head on over to the iTunes or the Spotify and leave us one of them good reviews, and we can feed it to those creatures and keep things moving, keep our planet spinning. Well, the planet will still be here. It's just going to eat everyone, and we don't want that. So, head on over. Also, if you want to hear these episodes a week in advance, join our dang Patreon. All the money goes to helping out the show, paying for hosting, equipment, software, all that good stuff. The music and sound effects you hear, these are all things that are purchased for the show. So if you'd like to help us, head on over to the Patreon, and you can get access to the audio for the next episode a week in advance. Wowzers! Alright, travelers, now that we've figured out this radio, let's go ahead and give it a go. Boop, 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 boop. Love cursed items.
Hi, we're Chasm Quest. Come with us as we voyage across the Chasm Sea and into a heroic adventure into a new world. The quest is dangerous,
I want to ride that sword down his body, like just like split him in half.
mysterious,
There's something about the new lens. There's nothing that can prepare us for what's to come.
and very, very rowdy.
We lick each other's nostrils.
God!
Listen to Chasm Quest, all one word, everywhere podcasts are streamed. Now, let's set sail.
Chasm Quest. Well, that seems pretty neat. If you're looking to go on some high sea adventures, head on over to Chasm Quest. They seem like a lovely bunch. Alright, travelers. Now I'm gonna go hang up a bunch of pictures of myself in the inn, because that's what you do. When you own a business, hang up a bunch of photos of yourself. It's your place, you're paying the damn rent, so why not? Alright, I bid you all adieu.
So you walk past the group just as you hear one person shout, "We should hold a vote!" As you're all just looking at each other.
And Akihiko just flips them off as he's walking away.
You see that there are all sorts of people that are just, wandering around this area. There is this person, this luminous, is walking up, and at first you think it's Lune again, Lune Cross, but you see the name above them. It just says Amber Guardian. As they're walking and they see the three of you. Oh, hi. Do any of you know what's going on?
This is a player, yes?
Yeah.
Just matter-of-factly looks this person in the eyes and just says, "We're trapped here. We'll die if we don't get out. We'll die if we die in the game. What do you want?"
I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. This is a lot.
You're standing here doing nothing. Do you want to get out?
Yeah.
Then figure out a way to put whatever skills you picked on the way in here to use to get out.
I'm a cleric, so I guess I should go find a group.
There's a big one.
Hold on. You said you're a what now?
I'm a cleric?
Do you specialize in healing or harming?
Healing.
You want to come with us?
Sure.
Great.
What? I feel more confident now.
I'm Akihiko. Passes to Morrigan.
I'm Morrigan.
Nysla.
I guess here I'm Amber Guardian. You could just call me Amber. It's a lot easier.
Cool. What pronouns?
She, they.
Hilarious, though. I love the name. Amber Guardian.
Yeah.
I hope that person's name is Amber in real life. Great. So you can be our healer, and you can come with us. We have one other, I think, person who was with us, but they got carried off by the reverse necromancies.
Oh my god, I saw one completely become human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lune's a little crazy. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Lune's stupid.
Oh. They're part of your group?
Well, they were with us, and I don't want to like completely write him off. He seemed competent enough in battle, even he was just like
Punching things. I think he was a summoner.
I mean, that's
It's either that or there were two of them.
that's an interesting mechanic if they could just make two of themselves. Two people punching things.
it would explain why he was so dumb. His brain got split in half.
Wow.
So, Amber, how did you survive?
Well, first I ran. Because I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, running. We tried running. And
We
then
also tried running, yes.
Then we encountered the reverse necromancy.
I got cornered. There was this really weird kobold person. They just leapt from a roof and they screamed and started just stabbing these skeletons, and I just basically focused on keeping them alive because they were destroying the skeletons. So that was my end game. I was like, I think their name was like Houndman, something like that. Anyway, he was nuts, but very effective.
Oh, did this houndman seem to like go off by themselves?
Yeah, I think they wandered off after. They thanked me for the healing, and then we just kind of like... there's a thing here, apparently you can add people as friends, so you can message them. When it says you can message them in town, but not in the field. I'm guessing that's the dungeon.
That would make sense.
Great. Well, if we meet them again, maybe they'll be helpful, or maybe they'll just still be crazy.
Yeah. Did you do a lot of reading up on the game beforehand?
A little bit.
Just a little.
I also only did a little.
I mean, I know that place back there you can pay gold to heal.
Oh, the Bernard one?
Oh, you met Saint Busybody?
Yeah, really nice, but very passionate about their religion.
Yeah, I think
Very generous.
I think Saint Busybody is actually a real person. So
What? No, they're an NPC.
yeah, I think that people would like us to think that, but I think that dude's real.
Really?
He did say Chicago.
Do you think he's a hacker?
Well, he's a hacker who's healing, so he can keep doing whatever the hell he wants.
That's cool. Where were you all headed?
Guildhall.
Guildhall.
Yeah.
That makes sense, actually. Okay, yeah, no, let's go.
Yeah, come with us.
Hold on. Going back to the knowledge of the game, by going to the Guildhall, do we have to form a guild?
That's an option. Like, you can just be in a party if you feel like it. When you form a guild, you do know that you have to pay for it, but essentially it gives you like a guild house, and then you can store items there, you can stay there, that kind of stuff.
Ooh. Well, questions to ask when we get there. So just so I have a good idea of people, when we stand shoulder to shoulder, who's the shortest amongst us and who's the tallest? Because I'm sure like Akihiko's a good 5'3".
I am shorter than you. I'm 5'2".
I do remember Morrigan was 4'5".
Yeah.
Are we a party of shorties?
Baby
I
Lune
think
is
we
just
might be.
super tall. I don't know. Like 6'5", just strutting.
Maybe our like ensemble cover art needs to have something in the background that people can see how short we are, so that it's not lost in relativity.
Yeah.
We're the
Shrink them. Just really, like bad MS Paint, expand them to be tall.
We're the royal shorties with a really tall jester. How tall is Amber?
They are 5'10", so fairly tall there.
Yeah, they're a good head on the rest of us.
Yeah. And they're like this, so they're just being much like Lune, just like made out of light. You can see like there are like obviously somewhat facial features, glowing eyes. They have like hair that's coming down, and they are wearing like just like bits of armor and stuff like that. So you all are strolling up towards the guild hall. The guild hall sits on a small patch of land in a large pond. The building itself is circular with a domed roof coming out to a sharp point on top. There are yellow vertical bands that decorate the roof, and the sides of the building seem to be made out of quite a dark stone. There are large wooden doors that look brand new that lead into this very large building. 2 bridges, one on each side, lead over the pond towards the guild hall itself, and surrounding this whole area is a densely wooded park. And strolling into the guild hall itself, main lobby of this building is circular as well, with hallways leading out in all directions around the building. But it doesn't quite make sense. Like, the space doesn't make sense. You're like, that's the wall of the building, but it keeps going into a hallway. You see there is another entrance on the opposite side of the building, and there are different areas labeled in here. There's a counter set up with a receptionist called Guild Services. See another area called Bank. And then there is an ST3v3 dancing along, and above them it's labeled Information Services. The floor itself is made out of stone that echoes your steps as you come in here, and the reverberation is incredible as numerous players are in here talking. You can make out that the floor itself has this 3-tendrilled yellow symbol on the ground that is similar to the shape of the city. So you're all walking in there, and there's a lot of other adventures that had the same idea.
Going over to Guild Services first.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
So you see there is this receptionist. Their name is Dave. They are just, they're looking at you. It's this shorter dwarf. He's got a little, few crystals that are sticking off of him. He has this big red beard that's trimming down, but head is devoid of hair, and looks over at all of you. Hey there, travelers. How can I help you?
Akihiko sees Cheery and is like, NPC. Question for you, Dave.
Of course.
Where do people stay if they're not in a guild?
Well, if you like, there are a number of inns around that you can stay for the night.
Okay. Any other permanent, more long-term?
If you're interested, you can purchase a house here in Carcosa, or if you'd like to establish a guild, you can also purchase a guild house. We do give guild rooms here for free once you set up your guild, but a guild house itself is separate in the city that you have control over.
How much is it to set up a guild?
To set up a guild, it is 100 gold pieces.
How much to buy a house?
To buy a house, it is 5,000.
Well, it looks like we're all staying at the inn tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Actually, looking at the Morrigan and Nysla, are you tired?
Are we tired?
A little, kind of like as if you just worked out, but you had full energy and then you worked out, so you're a little tired, but.
Huh. So I guess we probably will need to sleep.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you want to sleep?
If I don't have to sleep, why would I?
Okay, that's fair. I guess you get a lot done. That's 8 hours. 8 hours to your day.
Okay, well, what information do you have on the first floor of the dungeon?
I don't have a lot of information about the first floor. I know it's a forest, something like that. Lanes or something. A lot of grass, a lot of trees.
Great.
If you talk to ST3v3 over there, I'm sure they can help you out a lot.
Cool. What's outside the city?
Is there anything else I could help you with? Their stare just goes right through you.
Any questions you all had?
I think you broke it.
I mean, it really looks like this person's only good for guild stuff.
Oh, where's the mayor?
Oh, you'd like to speak with the mayor? We can help set up an appointment for you. The mayor is very busy. It's a very special day. All the travelers just arrived today. What a great celebration.
Yeah, and a bunch of us got stabbed.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. You should report that to the guards.
Yeah, the guards didn't do anything.
I see why you want to talk to the mayor.
Yeah, so if you could just set up an appointment for the earliest appointment with the mayor, it'd be great.
Of course. Your name is?
Akihiko Tomoe.
Okay. All right. I can set up an appointment for the mayor in tomorrow. That was tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Sounds lovely. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I was expecting
2 years?
Yeah, right? Yes, like something super long.
I thought about it.
I can set up a meeting in 5 years, 7 months, 2 days, and 6 hours.
That's when the mayor will be released from their tomb.
Great, thank you. Akiko's shaken at the fact that the mayor's so easily reached.
They're here to help the travelers.
That is,
Maybe we got traveler preference.
Maybe fighting some of those skelly boys gave us some preferential treatment. I don't know. We did good. We fought. We won.
We
combat.
won social status by killing things. Do-do-do-do. Thank you, Dave.
Of course.
Thank you.
Actually, now Akihiko is very curious. How long is the desk between us?
Well, I'd say, so Dave's a dwarf, so he's probably standing on a bit of a stool, looking over at all of you. The desk itself, I'd say 2.5, 3 feet. Does that sound right for a desk? Oh, it's like a meter.
Great. Akihiko will just, hop up on the desk on his knees and just, kind of in a cat position on all fours, except extending one hand and just, poking Dave in the nose.
You should knock a mug off the table, see if he reacts.
Is this a traveler thing?
Dave, where were you born?
Carcosa.
What did you do when you were 8?
Ran around a lot. What did you do when you were 8?
I didn't run a lot. I didn't run ever.
I played a lot of video games.
Take it at your own pace. I don't. Okay.
And then just kind of hops back down and just looks at him, just favorite food. What are you afraid of?
I. Huh. What am I doing here? Can I help you with anything?
And Akihiko just
You broke him.
tail flips back very curiously. I imagine that there's a look in his eyes that the audience, and if they could see his face, could only match another character who bears very similar eyes to him. As he just turns around and says, very curious. We should get going. Let's go talk to Steven.
So you push past some of the adventurers who are walking away from ST3B3 looking a little defeated.
Hey! How's it going?
Oh no. Hi, Steven.
Hey, it's you, the one with the great energy.
Turns to Nysla and Morrigan. Do you have any questions for Steven before I go?
Do you have any kind of ideas, the threats we might find in the first level of the dungeon?
Definitely. I understand that you are interested in glory.
Not really, but...
You're going to be facing against lizard folk and gnolls. But don't forget about the tricky boss and sub-boss. They're in there. I'm sure you'll find them. Make sure you have friends.
Tricky?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate?
Don't let them eat you.
Could you elaborate on tricky, Steven? Do they hide, turn invisible? Do they turn into us?
Well, in Carcosa Online, we didn't want to make these bosses seem too easy. We didn't want you to just fight them. We wanted to make you think. So all the bosses have fun quirks.
Fun. Fun how, Steve?
Like, some might have special attacks, so you have to figure out, how do I neutralize this? I don't want to die. Maybe some will really get in your head.
Literally or figuratively?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that didn't sound like a reliable answer at all.
How's Amber taking all of this? Akihiko's still a little distrusting and doesn't think too much of them at the moment.
Amber is kind of looking at ST3B3 a little puzzled and looking at all of you going, Are they gonna drill into our heads? Like, what the hell kind of game is this? What, even outside of that, and just points outside the guild hall, what were they thinking? Kids are gonna play this game.
Kids are probably already playing this game.
Oh God. There's like 1,000 people died.
I mean, kids have probably already died playing this game.
Oh my God.
I didn't go that far.
What a PR nightmare. How unfortunate that is, though, right?
Can I insight that?
Yeah, please.
Sure.
You a plant?
Oh, son of a gun.
You a plant?
Yeah, that's a great big old 9.
That is a 19 from me.
So they were a person who was like, they caught what they were saying and they realized I'm not being sensitive enough about this situation and trying to be like, oh no, but like that's so bad.
Okay, I thought they were suddenly, it's like, I am a Nostradamus employee and suddenly worried about my job.
It's a person realizing that they they fucked up in a conversation. Like, these are people listening to me talk words.
That's fair.
She's a cold-hearted snake. Okay, yeah. People have died. More people are going to die because they're going to make many mistakes. Steven, where is the boss and the sub-boss?
Well, if you really want to find the boss and the sub-boss, I'd suggest taking a little bit of a stroll. Go down to the first floor. And I'm not supposed to tell people this, but I always really like your energy, Akihiko. I can tell you're a blazing star in the sky. I'd say, have a little look at the swamp.
Okay. Thank you, Steven. Why were those people dejected when they left you?
They kept asking to leave.
Oh, yeah, that's not happening.
I can't help with that. Please talk to a system administrator for all of your technical difficulties.
Where is the closest system administrator?
Seattle.
I'm in Seattle.
All right, then.
I'm currently sleepless in Seattle.
Wow. Then they gotta be close.
Save! Can you send one to our house?
Where do you live?
I don't know, don't you already know that? I'm in game. From an IP address.
I cannot access your personal information. That would be rude.
But we could send one to our house, right?
Maybe. I could put in a support ticket.
You know what? Do.
Would you like me to log a support ticket? Please send one of the Nostradamus Corporation employees to my personal home?
I mean, I live with one, so I imagine they'll be finding out about this eventually.
Oh wow, you're already ahead of the game.
Cringe, Steve.
Ouch.
Alrighty, well, I think now's the moment we should probably go prepare.
Yeah.
I agree, while still bleeding.
Why didn't you have Busybody heal you?
You pulled me out of there before I could ask.
Why don't you just go run over there and we'll go to the marketplace and we'll meet you there?
It might just be easier because my thing says I can perform medicine on myself.
Oh, okay, you can do that too.
First aid.
We can wait around for a little bit.
I think it says it'll take like a couple minutes.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, and Amber looks over at you. I could heal you if you need.
Hold on to those right now. We're not in immediate danger.
Just in case.
Okay.
Because I mean, my thing says I can do this like on a person like once an hour.
Yeah. While Nysla's doing that, Amber, what weapon does Amber have on them?
They have a two-handed, it looks like it's like a glaive they're using.
You plan on using that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it probably makes sense, right?
You don't seem very confident in your death-dealing abilities.
Well, I've never really swung a glaive in real life, so...
Pick it up.
Like, it feels normal. It feels like I could do this. So yeah, I'll back you up. I can go out there and, fight things.
I mean, I'd never shot a gun before, and I actually did pretty well.
Well, that's good.
Never cast magic before, but hey, here we are.
Yeah. I got a 15 for my medicine check, which was the DC, and I healed back 12.
Nice. While all of you are getting ready, you're in this guild hall, you're patching yourselves up, you're checking your equipment, as you're all looking at each other, slightly unsure as you've met one another maybe 2 hours ago or so. You open up the doors to the guild hall, looking out at the great world of Carcosa Online. You're ready to start your journey. Escaping Carcosa is brought to you by the Ballad of the Seven Dice Network. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram by searching Ballad of the Seven Dice. Supporting our Patreon helps us pay for the show, such as hosting, equipment, and additional content for you to enjoy. Our Patreon is pay what you want and contains behind-the-scenes footage, audio dramas, one-shots, and more. You can also head over to iTunes and Spotify and leave us a 5-star review. Every review helps us fight against the horrors of the algorithm. Until next time, dear travelers, keep an eye out for that yellow side.